So for this video, I'm just going to draw a few more of this still life, maybe this two, and then you guys can see how I deal with the how I draw with the Photoshop. So the reason why we practice with still life is because for still life, the value, the value, the value transition is very simple. So you have this part here, and then you have like a soft, uh, this lost value transition from this dark here and then until this brighter area here. So that's why we practice with still life. So when you reach portrait, you have like, for example, this part that has a gradual value transition, and then you have a loss value transition here as well. So it's a more dynamic shape for a portrait. So I'll just draw. So again, this is a digital medium. What it means is if you can't draw, find another way to draw. So for example, if you're trying to draw this in traditional, you can't adjust you can't zoom in, zoom out like this. You can't change the brush, the the medium size you have. So if you find it very hard to draw it like this, Then don't draw it like this. You just draw. You can. This is a curved line. If you draw a curved line this big, it's very hard to get it right. So maybe you can try zooming out, or you can rotate the canvas around like this, or you can just create like this shape. So you can actually inverse the selection. So right now I already select this part, but I want to draw the dark part. So I can just inverse the selection and then create another layer, fill it in, and create clipping mask. So right now I have this line. So maybe I can remove the extra part first. So like this. So the shortcut key for selection inverse is Control Shift I. So I can delete the extra part, create clipping mask. So right now I can transform this selection, use Warp 2 and just adjust it like this. So right now I have the light area and dark area. I can lock. So this is a shadow. Once I lock the shadow, I can paint in the value difference, the value changes in the shadow without affecting the light area. There's reflection. And then I can move to the light area and then paint the value changes in the light area. So you can see how I use a lasso tool to quickly control how I draw with a hard edge, and like a soft edge. So you can hide selection by pressing Ctrl H. So you see the selection is still there, but you can see it more clearly after you hide your selection. So here I can create another layer because I already painted this, but I want a soft edge, so I can create another layer by duplicating the same layer. That's Control J. So right now I have these two layers, and then I can blur the bottom layer. Erase the edge a bit for the layer without the filter. And then this part here would be harder edge, so erase it to make it harder. This one is a bit different because the base value is not white for this kind of still life. If it's made from plaster, it's white, but this one is wood, so the the local value for the object itself is not white, and it's made from wood, so it has some texture on top. So when we draw something with texture, don't worry about the texture first, just get the base value down, the base light and shadow, and then after you're done with it, then you can do the texture. Now go ahead and lock all these layers. So there's actually brush mode. So this brush mode here, so for example, this area needs to be darker. I can do it with multiply. So multiply will will add will make whatever you're drawing darker. The strength depends on the value you're using. So right now if I choose like a lighter tone, it will become darker slower. So if I choose like a darker tone, it will become darker faster. So I can change the brush mode. Change it back. This one I'll use Gaussian blur. So for this, I can actually feather the selection, and then once it's feathered, the edge you draw will be softer. So like this. So once this is done, you can add all the occlusion shadow. Oh, this is not done. And then to apply texture, just now there is like a brush mode. There's actually layer mode as well. So for example, if I change this, I create another layer. I created this layer, and then I can change this to multiply, so it will become darker. So that's how I'll apply the texture for this one. So this one is just something like this. Make it lighter with adjustment. Another thing we can do with selection is, let me just color pick this value first. Another thing we can do with selection is you can create stroke with selection. So right now I think it's 5 pixels. So you create strokes like this. So for this, I can make it clip to the round, the sphere. So this is, okay, so this is the sphere. So I click to the sphere, and then let me create another layer, and then I can make a stroke for this. Let's try 8. Okay, so this one I can select multiply and then create clipping mask as well. So I can adjust, I can transform this layer here like this, duplicate, transform, duplicate, transform, and then can merge this layers, merge layers, make it multiply again. Okay. So that's how I deal with the textures. So this is the cube, create clipping mask, make it multiply, and then I can draw it on as well. This one, erase. This. If you don't want to create a new layer, you can just change your brush mode and draw it on, so it's all the same layer.